Hey everyone, before we get started, I just want to remind you that we're doing the charity drive this year. All details are in last week's video, but here's the gist of it. Donate to a charity that benefits children. Send proof of that donation to joechristmascharity@gmail.com. Proof can be a photo of your receipt or check, or a screenshot if you donate online. Feel free to edit out any personal information, except the amount of money donated. Also, it doesn't have to be money. You can donate toys or clothes or something. Just put a dollar amount on that in the email. You will be sent an email confirming your donation has been added to the total. At the end of the drive, all the names of people who donated will be put into a hat. One name will be picked, and that person will win prizes. The final results show, where we pick that winner, will be on December 3rd. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the episode! Hey, welcome to Half the Battle! We're going back to the comic this week with issue 55, Unmaskings. Oh joy, it's another one of those covers! Yeah, it gives you the wrong impression, while at the same time, technically it doesn't lie to you. We'll talk about this later. For now, let's just dig in, shall we? And there are like 4 different stories interwoven in this one issue, so we'll tackle them one at a time instead of going back and forth. First, there's 2 short interludes where we check in with the G.I.Joe and Cobra home bases. Hawk and Duke are saying goodbye to somebody. Grunt is leaving the military and is going to college at Georgia Tech. He's seen off by his pal Clutch, who has a beard now, making him look more like his action figure. Yeah, he used to be clean-shaven in the comic. Grunt gives him his mom's address to stay in touch. Grunt, no! You don't want to give Clutch, of all people, access to your mom! Or anybody's mom, for that matter. This story may just be 2 pages, but it is pretty significant, as it's one of the only times we see somebody leave the G.I. Joe team. Well, without being killed, I mean. Next, we'll check in at Cobra headquarters. It's just for 1 page, but the story is very significant. Serpentor announces Cobra is expanding, getting in the same business as legitimate governments, since with Cobra Island they now have a legitimate country. A large part of this is opening the Cobra Consulate building in New York. Yeah, Cobra has risen significantly in stature since losing Springfield. I'd say they're at the height of their power right now. That leaves 2 other storylines. One is the adventures of Cobra Commander and Destro, the other is G.I.Joe vs. Cobra in Gordo. We'll tackle that last one first. As a quick reminder, last issue we saw Snake Eyes, disguised as Flint, letting himself get captured to infiltrate the Terrordrome in Gordo. What he didn't count on was the brainwave scanner being there. Mindbender is puzzled that the so-called Flint is able to block the scanner, while Cobra's clients, the new dictators of Gordo, inform him rebels are attacking. Since the rebels are usually incompetent, Tomex and Zemat go on a recon mission and discover they are being aided by the Joes. Back in the Terrordrome, they finally figure out their prisoner is wearing a mask. No freaking duh! After removing the mask, they find out it's Snake Eyes. Yeah, that's the first unmasking the cover alludes to. Note that you never see his face, just other people's reaction to it. Interrogating the ninja will have to wait, as the rebels and the Joes are advancing, and we get a shot of the Baroness's shapely bottom. The battle is fierce, with one Viper Wilson on the side of Cobra. Man, guy must have been desperate after Home Improvement ended. The Joes figure a disguise is the best way in, so Lowlight targets Wilson with a tranquilizer dart. Okay, 2 things here. 1, they call him Viper, even though he's wearing the uniform of a Cobra officer. And 2, the dart goes straight through his freaking neck! I don't care what's in that dart, that guy ain't getting back up again. Cobra is forced to retreat to the Terrordrome, and they have to wait for reinforcements. Leatherneck infiltrates as Wilson, but gets spotted by the Baroness. When asked why he's carrying his accessory, an M203, he tells her he captured it. Impressed by this, she tells him to guard the prisoner. Okay, Leatherneck, why didn't you also change weapons? I mean, that's a dead giveaway! Not that it really matters, since the ruse lasts for like 2 panels when another trooper sees he ain't Wilson. Leatherneck wonders if they memorize eyebrows. At first, this is funny, but thinking about it, it is pretty dumb. I mean, this trooper knew Wilson. If you went to a Halloween party dressed up with only your eyes showing, your friends would still know it was you because of your eyes, body type, and body movement. None of my friends ever ask, "Hey, who's that guy?" when I show them one of my videos. They do ask, "Can I go home now?" This is a flaw in every work of fiction where the good guys dress up as bad guys. The nameless henchmen or troops would still know each other and would know something was off. That bit in Star Wars, "Aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper?" that wasn't just a joke. Leia immediately knew something was up. The other Imperials should have spotted that too, really. But I digress. Boy, did I digress. They find Snake Eyes and untie him. Stalker has even brought his gear, explaining through flashback that back in Nam he had ordered the ninja be left behind to save everybody else, but Storm Shadow refused and saved him. Hence why he now doesn't want to leave Snake Eyes behind again. Yeah, they were all in Vietnam together. Long backstory, I won't get into it here. As they're fleeing the Terrordrome, Stalker gets shot and holy hell, right in the torso. By that caliber? Dude should be dead. But no, he's not fine, but he's far more alive than I would have thought. Carrying him would slow them down though, so he orders them to leave him behind. With Cobra in pursuit now the reinforcements have arrived. Looks like Snake Eyes is gonna have none of that though. He's gonna hold off the enemy so they can get Stalker out of there. He objects, but since he's injured, they can relieve him of command, with Snake Eyes being the next in line. And he basically goes full Rambo on Cobra. And it looks freaking awesome! The only answer Cobra can come up with is to carpet bomb his position with grenades and mortars. If it was frags, that's the last we'll see of Snake Eyes. Damn, beachhead, that's cold! And that's how this part of the comic ends. Yeah, we won't know if Snake Eyes survives until the next issue. Somehow I'm not that concerned though. Hell, even back in the 80s I wouldn't have been. This guy survived more things than Deadpool. And that leaves us with Cobra Commander and Destro's arc in this issue. They are still trapped in the collapsed G.I.Joe headquarters, but have found the escape tunnel Hawk used. That has now also collapsed. The Commander takes this well. Destro, who has had to put up with the Commander's bullcrap for quite some time now, goes off on his own and finds a tunneler vehicle. While very convenient, Destro does think the Joes would have a backup for their escape route. And I kind of agree here. No, if you want to talk convenient, it's that they tunnel out and right into a mall. A mall that's closed for renovations at the time. A mall that's closed for renovations at the time and has a costume store for all your disguise needs right there where they surface. Now that's convenient! By the way, we see this through the window of a toy shop, one that has the most eclectic shelf of action figures I've ever seen. It has Astro Boy, some Pillsbury Doughboy looking thing, and Mr. Potato Head. Then there's a Japanese robot, Voltron maybe, a sausage diver, and, of all things, the flaming carrot. Yeah, I had to look that last one up. The guy with a carrot for a head is called the Flaming Carrot, a comic character that wasn't from Marvel. The artist must have been a fan or something. Also, none of these figures are in their packaging, so I guess this is a second-hand or vintage store or something. Oh, and none of these were Hasbro toys as far as I can tell. I kinda wanna ask the artist or Larry Hama how they came up with that set of toys. Yeah, bet that's one question they've never been asked before. Anyway, back to the plot. Or maybe not just yet, because that sausage thing is really bothering me. It seemed so random, but I looked it up like I had to look up the carrot thing, and a diving sausage is a safety device for divers, so that's the pun. Now, seriously, back to the plot. They take off their helmets, that's the other two unmaskings on the cover, but we don't see their faces. Again? When Destro mentions the cheap suits they are forced to wear, Cobra Commander has one of his funniest lines ever in the comic. Fashion snobbery from someone who still wears a gold chain with an open shirt. Yeah, it's about time Destro got called out on that one. Destro's disguise looks fine. Well, the Commander's, You don't think this look is just a tad retro? Yeah, no kidding. He looks like Ned Flanders' dad.
Huh, that would explain a lot. About Ned Flanders, anyway.
Next time we see them, they have stolen the car, paperwork and all, with the commander hot-wiring the thing, remarking he was once a man. Sorry, I mean he was once a used car dealer. So forming Cobra was a step towards honesty for him. That's his second great line of the issue.
Dude's on fire today!
If he's an ex-used car salesman, then in the Hasbro Cinematic Universe, he could have been Bernie Mac. Anyway, they get stopped by a state trooper, but that doesn't worry him, as he has his real driver's license with him. Good thing he didn't have that when he got captured by the Joes that one time. And indeed, his papers all seem to be in order, but the cop seems to know him. Yeah, his name and face seem familiar to the guy, making Destro and Cobra Commander crap themselves, no doubt. Then it hits him. Billy! The cop recalls a flaming car wreck with just one survivor, missing a leg and an eye. The other occupants were incinerated. The boy is in a coma, but in his wallet he had a picture of Cobra Commander.
Yeah, this is issue 55.
That car wreck happened all the way back in issue freaking 43. Both in comic and real-world time, a year has passed. And we finally get confirmation that Candy, who was Ripcord's girlfriend, and the drunk driver are dead, thanks to Scrap Iron and Firefly. A freaking year to learn the fate of Billy and Candy.
Yeah, I don't give a crap about the drunk guy either.
Anyway, with this shocking revelation, the commander and Destro rush to the hospital. The doctor informs them that there's no brain damage, and he will eventually come out of the coma, but the leg is lost below the knee, as well as the eye. In his head, I mean, he didn't have an eye below the knee.
And what follows is the commander's most human moment in not just the comic, but the entire G.I. Joe mythos.
He looks at his son and tells him he'll stand by him even though he's been a lousy father. And Destro does point out all the things he's done to the kid, so the term lousy father may be a bit of an understatement. But the commander says he knows and breaks down crying, wondering how his son could ever forgive him. And the comic ends with Destro leaving and telling him he can't change the past, but he can do something about the future.
Whoa, that's some heavy stuff.
And that was Unmaskings.
And it was amazing!
In fact, the only things I can really complain about, and I will right now, are the cover and the title.
Unmaskings my ass!
I mean, yeah, technically it's all correct, all three characters were unmasked.
But the reader would, I don't know, expect to see their freaking faces!
And we didn't get to see that. Well, I think years later it was retconned that Cobra Commander really did look like a beatnik hipster, but at the time that was a disguise.
Other than that, no complaints.
Some great stories that ended on bombshells, literally and figuratively, with Snake Eyes getting blown up, yeah right, and Billy being alive and shocking the commander to his core. This, coupled with a Joe leaving and Cobra expanding their influence, makes this a hugely significant issue. I had so little to bitch about, I went on a tangent about the toys in the shop that were seen for like one freaking panel.
And I'm still not done!
Because on closer inspection, that one guy is probably not the Pillsbury Doughboy, but he does look like some kind of mascot. I just can't quite picture which one.
It's right there nagging at me in the back of my brain, so if any of you recognize it, do let me know in the comments below.
But yeah, this comic, it's absolutely terrific and is a must-read.
Well, that's it for now. Our next proper review will be the 250th one. And it's one that's been a long time coming. Well, I'll see you next time, everybody. And hey, why not like, share, and subscribe if that's your thing.